Hello, my name is Collection Connoisseur. I collect digital thingamabobs and video games. Today I'm playing Monster Train. We are still going down expert challenges, our second time through all of the expert challenges. And last time we succeeded at one of the ones that I thought was the hardest, the extra pain train. So now we're doing Fragile Collection. The first unit you play every turn has Fragile, but there's extra collectors and extra upgrade slots to make up for how annoying that is. You know, this is perfectly fine, because I kind of wanted to play as Umbra, and playing as Umbra means that we might be able to make one of our morsels fragile instead of something else that's more important to us. So I'm going to play as the Umbra, and we're going to play as Hellhorned as the secondary clan. And you know what? Why not play it with the Queen's Impling to have even more things that we could make fragile at the beginning? Do I want the Penumbra or the Primordium? I don't know. Which one do I want to play as this time? I enjoy playing as the Primordium, but I think that the Penumbra is generally stronger, and Shade Splitter seems to be generally stronger than Plink. So I'm going to play as the Penumbra, because I want to win another one. Let's go. Alright, we are going up against Seraph the Diligent, which consumes my spells. Hate that. We do have Space Prism, 2 Space Prisms in our starting deck. That's pretty nice when we're playing as the Umbra. Prism Retrieval is interesting. I tend to think that it's okay. And man, I do like my Ritual of Battle. I think we've done 100 battles of Ritual of Battle. So I do like my Ritual of Battle. I think this is a pretty decent start. I just have to really remember the sacrificial problem. So, I think that we upgrade our champion first. So Glutton is one of the ones that I really like to play with, because having lots of gorge effects on the champion is really nice. Although we have seen that Architect has been really nice to play with too. I think I'm going to do Glutton. I think we've done Architect more recently, and I do like to play with Glutton. Both of these I think are decent. I think we're going to take Jack Strips, and the main reason I'm taking Jack Strips right now is we do not have a single spell that deals damage. So we have no way to deal with back units at the beginning, and Jack Strips just does that for us. So that really helps at the beginning. Alright, let's go. And we want to defeat the collectors. We're going to see a lot of collectors. Let's get lots of money. Non-boss enemy units enter with spikes 3. I will take it. Get more money. Alright, let's not play our champion first. Alright, great. We don't have to play our champion first. You are going to die because of Jack Strips. The champion, we're going to play a Shade Splitter, and then put our champion at the top with a Magma Morsel. So the Magma Morsel becomes fragile, and then the champion is going to eat that Magma Morsel. Great. We could play Prism Retrieval to get a better Train Steward to put at the bottom, or we could just play these two right here. Actually don't know which I would want. Getting the Train Steward out of the deck is kind of nice, and it being stronger is kind of nice. And we could put it in the center instead of the bottom. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Prism Retrieval, get a Train Steward. I guess we could have gotten a Queen's Impling, which would have been kind of sad. But we didn't get one, so it's okay. Alright, unfortunately the collector, the first collector, is going to get past us. Don't like that. and there's no way for me to deal with it because I don't have any spells that deal damage. At least those two are going to die. We should start with a Queen's Impling, because the Queen's Impling will become fragile. So I guess we do that here. I probably want a Space Prism at the top more than anywhere else, so let's play it at the top. And then, do we play another Queen's Impling, or do we play a Train Steward? If we play the Train Steward, it just dies. Play another Queen's Impling. Okay. There goes a Collector. Very sad to see that go. This Collector is also going to get past us, isn't it? Yeah, I don't see how it doesn't. And the Ritual of Battle would be nice to play. We could play that on our champion instead of playing any of these other things. We need something to get rid of Collectors. Man, I'm noticing that as a problem. If we get the Ritual of Battle, the fact that you've got lifesteal will be nice. But you only have 2 lifesteal. Whereas if we play 3 Shade Splitters, it will be quite nice. We could even save our Train Steward. Let's do 3 Shade Splitters. Shade Splitter, and I could do a Queen's Impling instead of a Shade Splitter as the last one. But no, let's do another Shade Splitter. Okay. Which one do we let die? I think we're going to let the Rubble Morsel die. And then give an Ant Umbra Morsel. We could even put it in front so it takes the damage. And then a Morsel Jeweler, honestly, makes a little bit more sense in the center, because our top guy has lifesteal. Alright, losing both Collectors at the very beginning is quite sad. But if we don't take any damage from the fact that we've got Sacrificial, then if we don't get any benefit from return on investment, that's fine. We still get the benefit from Zoom Enhance, which is nice. Man, I want to play Ritual of Battle. I probably should just play Ritual of Battle this turn, I think. I think I should. And let's do Space Prism at the top. Ritual of Battle. I think Ritual of Battle will make it so that we win this one easily. Okay. We can play another Ritual of Battle to win it even more easily. Let's just do that. Don't worry about playing lots of Shade Splitters. There, and then we win easily. We even could have played another Ritual of Battle. We didn't get either of the Collectors, which is the sad part there. Heralds of Production tends to be really nice. It gives me a way, if I don't want the Ember Drain, I could just get Ember by putting it on a Morsel. Or, if we get enough Heralds of Production, then I could just do tons and tons of Ember Drain and be fine. So, getting a Perils of Production, definitely better than getting Immortal Trade first. Let's get Perils of Production. I tend to really like those. I don't really want any of these. I like Welder Helpers. Fortify I find to be almost not worth playing. And as much as I like Ritual of Battle, we already have 2 of them. I think 2 of them is good enough. So let's just skip this one. Okay, I definitely want a unit. So let's go to the right. Peeking these 2, Divine Temple has a Twin Stone and a Seek Stone. Seek Stone could go on one of the Space Prisms. Definitely could do that. Twin Stone, I really like putting those on Perils of Production. And then the Merchant of Steel has a large stone. Oh, a large stone. Alright, that might change what we take. Alloyed construct with a large stone. You know I want it. You know, I definitely do want that. Alloyed construct with a large stone. That means that we need plenty of ways to get morsels if I do that. But both of these kind of require that. And, man, alloyed construct with a large stone seems too good to pass up. Let's take it. Let's put a large stone on it, of course. And then, do we put anything else on it? I think we don't yet. Because we've got 3 upgrade slots, so we definitely could, but I don't think I want either of these. And I don't have to reroll, you know? I'm gonna put the Twin Stone on the Perils of Production. I find that to be really nice. The Seek Stone, we could take it and put it on Space Prism. I do like doing that. The other option is to put a Seek Stone on a Shade Splitter, because then we always have something to be fragile. Ooh, actually I like that. Not my normal thing to put a Seek Stone on, but I think that's actually a really good idea. Alright, let's go to the next one. Mark of Invasion gets taken care of by jack strips for the most part, so turn that on. Alright. So we've got a Shade Splitter, we've got an Alloyed Construct, and we've got Penumbra. The Alloyed Construct is kind of unfortunate here because, you know, we're going to put the Shade Splitter first. I guess we could put the Shade Splitter behind here, and then you still get to eat it after you take 15 damage, which isn't so bad. And then we could put the Penumbra in the center where it just dies, or the bottom where it just dies. Huh. I mean, we could not play our Penumbra first turn, just play Alloyed Construct instead. That seems a little bit dangerous as a plan. But the other option is to put the Alloyed Construct in the middle and the Penumbra at the top. And then we would get Ember Drain if we are making our Alloyed Construct actually use the Shade Splitter. I like the Alloyed Construct at the top more, so maybe we just don't play Penumbra. Weird. Alright. We're not playing our champion on the first turn. How very strange. But that is what we're doing. And we'll move on. At least we know that they all die. We did kill the Collector, excellent. We have a Shade Splitter, that's important because we need fuel. So let's play the Shade Splitter, which means we don't get to play Ritual of Battle. Rubble Morsel. Fine. Rubble Morsel goes at the top. Gets eaten. We could play a couple of Queen's Implings. If we play a Queen's Impling here, then that means that you will kill both of these, no problem. So let's play a Queen's Impling here. And then let's play a Queen's Impling at the bottom. For kind of the same reason, right? Yeah. Okay. We got our Space Prism. I like that. We have a Prism Retrieval and a Perils of Production. So we could play a Train Steward that has Fragile, and then play Perils of Production on it, and then play Prism Retrieval. I like that. Let's do that. So you go there, we get more Ember, we play Prism Retrieval for 6. We're going to play that at the bottom so that we don't incant those. So now we've got a kind of giant Train Steward, actually. Oh, but we couldn't play our second Perils of Production. Oh, that was not exactly how I wanted that to go. And we don't kill the Collector, which I didn't think we were going to. Sad. Alright, well, that was partially okay. I should have played the other Perils of Production. I just thought of it as a way that I could get Ember after playing the X-Cost card. It doesn't work. Yeah, didn't really work. So, Shade Splitter. We play a Rebel Morsel at the top. And it dies. We play a couple of Queen's Implings at the bottom, because, you know, what else is the Queen's Implings going to do at this point? I like how they're dying from the jackstrip so much. Okay, so you really need fuel. Let's make sure that we give you fuel this turn. I really kind of forgot about the fact that you didn't have fuel. Whoops. Alright. And then we can Perils of Production on this guy. Let's do that. Perils of Production on you. And then we can play a Train Steward here so that you are doing more damage. And a Ritual of Battle. I think we want to put that at the top. On our big guy at the top. Alright, we kind of need to get a Shade Splitter next turn. There is a very, very good chance that we will. Because we need fuel for our guy. The problem is he only attacks once. That's the current problem. Although, a Ritual of Battle actually wins, doesn't it? Even though you only attack once. It does. How strange. Let's do that way. Alright, you don't need fuel. We'll even play our champion with Fragile. We defeated one of the collectors, or maybe 0 collectors. I don't remember. I kind of feel like we have to get another Perils of Production. But I also want a Packed Morsels, too. Oh man, I don't know which one of those I really want more. I feel like we should get another Perils of Production, but we also kind of need more morsels, and Packed Morsels does that exactly. So I'm sadly going to pick Packed Morsels instead of Perils of Production, I think, because we just need more morsels. Ooh, Molting Imp has not been Divinity Mastered, which means we take it. I want to have something that can be Divinity Mastered every time. So I do want a Merchant of Magic, and another unit, I guess, so let's go to the right. Peek in Divine Temple, see a Value Stone, and like that, and another Seek Stone. We probably won't take the other Seek Stone. Stacked Stone. Oh-ho. Stacked Stone is quite nice. Alright, let's do the Umbra unit. We could get an Alloyed Construct and sacrifice it to our Alloyed Construct. We've done that once before, and I did like the effect of that, because then we didn't have to give it as many morsels. So I really do like that. Let's do that again. And Concealed Caverns. What do you have for me? Ooh. Oh man, what do we do here? I can't really... If we get rid of a unit... it'd be an alloyed construct that we would get rid of. We don't have enough alloyed constructs for me to want to do that. So I think we're going to have to choose... Here's some spare magic. And then I have to pick which spell we're getting rid of in order to get an upgraded one later. How does the spells upgrade? I do not know. I don't know how the spells upgrade. I mean, purging a Shade Splitter is kind of weird. We could use this to just purge a card. I guess we're going to purge a Shade Splitter. This one, I don't think ended up being very good for us. Oh well. Divine Temple, we are definitely going to do the Engage Pact, sacrifice an alloyed construct to our alloyed construct. And then a Value Stone would be excellent to put on a Ritual of Battle. Definitely want that. And then a Merchant of Magic. I kind of want to put a Stack Stone on that Ritual of Battle that we just made cheaper, and then also put an Ember Stone on it. That seems quite nice. And then we could purge a card. I do want to purge Train Stewards. Let's purge a Train Steward. I want to purge the Train Stewards more than I want to purge the Imps. Okay, we still don't have a single spell that we can put Purge Stone on, by the way, or Power Stone. We don't have a single spell that uses magic power. Soul Sucker. Friendly units enter with Sap 1. Talos attacks every turn and applies Dazed on strike. If we can put morsels in front, that might not be a problem. But, I don't know. So I want to put the Penumbra in the middle. We certainly want to play a Shade Splitter and our Alloyed Construct at the top. Shade Splitter. Play a Rubble Morsel. And our Alloyed Construct. Our Alloyed Construct is the big one. The Penumbra, I guess, is going to go in the center, because it can't fit at the top. It's going to be hit by Talos, though. Which means I've got to get something to put in front so that it doesn't die from this next turn. But it's better than just not playing it, which is what we did last time. Okay, we actually have a Queen's Impling that we could put in front. It'd be nice if it wasn't a Queen's Impling, if it was a Morsel instead. Because if we put a Morsel instead, then you still hit and do your lifesteal. But I think we're going to do the Morsel at the top. Let's see what the Morsel is. Rubble Morsel. You know? I guess we'll put it in the middle. Oh no, you've got ×2 attack. It needed to be the Queen's Impling. I just made a huge mistake. Alright, we've already lost our champion. That was a huge mistake. That feels real dumb. Oh man, and you're gonna daze my guy. There's not much I can do about that, because I'd have to put... Well, I could put a Queen's Impling in front, actually. Actually, that does work. Queen's Impling in front. Then my guy doesn't get dazed. But he does only have one fuel, which is not great. We can do Space Prism and put a Train Steward up here too, so that we've got a Train Steward also up here, but we couldn't put the Train Steward in front. Yeah. You're gonna run out of fuel. Maybe we should have let this one hit you so that you were dazed, so you didn't run out of fuel. I'm noticing problems with my general plan. Let's put the Train Steward here and a Queen Zipling. But I don't want to play the Perils of Production because I don't want the Ember Drain. Okay, unfortunately you're going to make it to the top because I don't have a way to defeat you. Right? Shade Splitter goes first. Ooh, the Shade Splitter. The Shade Splitter can hit you. Which means if we play a Train Steward, we actually kill you. Oh, nice. And we'll do the Space Prism, of course. Train Steward. Oh no, you're sapped. Alright, we could do a Molting Imp as well. I was going to do the Molting Imp here, so it kills this one. Oh, actually, you die from Jackstraps. Never mind. Molting Imp at the bottom. Boom. Alright, you've got 2 fuel, that's good. We can get a lot more fuel because we've got packed morsels. You have a damage shield, which is really annoying because then your haste actually works. But honestly, how bad is your haste? I don't know if it's actually that bad for me. So, packed morsels. Let's play it. Let's play this and decide which morsels we want. So you having 1 lifesteal is not bad, but I really like you having more health and more attack. So have more health, have more attack. Oh, you don't get the first one because you've got sweep. Actually, we can't give you anything because of that sweep. Well, that was not great. I should stop making mistakes. So, we're going to play a Train Steward in the center, and we're going to give this Train Steward some morsels. And then we're going to play a Queen's Impling at the bottom. We're going to play a morsel at the bottom. Alright, final wave, or the... what is it called? I forget. Relentless Phase. We have Shade Splitters, which we need to play just for the fuel, basically. So let's play the Shade Splitters, and we can give you a damage shield. A damage shield seems kind of nice, and more attack. I'll do both of those. And then a Ritual of Battle, of course. Well, we could do Perils of Production twice on my guy. Prism Retrieval doesn't do anything. So we could do Perils of Production twice on you, or we could not because we've got Ritual of Battles next turn. Okay, yeah. Don't do the Perils of Production on this guy. Do a Morsel Excavator, though, and a Magma Morsel, and do a bunch of Perils of Production on you, so that you don't actually do any more damage, do you? Oh well. We can play a big Prism Retrieval, which doesn't get anything. And then we should win easily at the top. We've got plenty of fuel. Glad we actually have plenty of fuel this time. Okay, Furnace Tap. Furnace Tap can be really, really nice. I think we're going to have to take that. Do we want any of these units? I mean, maybe not, but a Demon Fiend isn't bad. It's just that we might not be able to play it ever. I think I'm going to skip the units. And then Herzl's Compound, I think we need that. If we're depending on Perils of Production and Furnace Tap, I think we need Herzl's Compound. It also means that we get more morsels more often, usually. Which is also good when we rely on the fuel from those morsels so much. So we could duplicate a card. I want that, but I also want to remove cards. And I always like getting artifacts. Let's go to the right. I like removing cards. Upgrade our champion. Monstrous is fine. I think if you take Glutton once, you kind of have to take Glutton all the time, right? Yeah. Let's take Glutton again. I don't think my champion is doing great, though. Our champion could get extra attack when we play it. It could get 10 more attack. Or we could have our friendly units enter with Lifesteal 2, which does affect our champion too. It would give it even more lifesteal. Let's go for Lifesteal 2. Kind of like the effect of that. And then remove a couple of Train Stewards, because they're not really doing much for me. There's a bunch of cards that are not doing much for me, but the Train Stewards especially. Okay, next battle. We could get a random artifact if we let you guys have multi-strike. I don't know if I want you guys to have multi-strike is the thing. I want the random artifact, of course. But multi-strike is dangerous. We don't have many things that give my guys more health, so I'm gonna just click fight. Alright. Umbra is going to go in the center. The Alloyed Construct goes at the top. We can have plenty of Ember this turn. So you were the one that got Fragile. That's very important that nobody else got Fragile. And then we can give you more Ember Drain, because we don't care if you have more Ember Drain. See, I think that we can't really handle too much Ember Drain. At least not right now. So we can't really play tons and tons of Perils of Production and whatnot. But if we get the Keep Stone that gives Perils of Production the holdover, that would be excellent. Rubble Morsel. Let's give that to you. You get more out of a Rubble Morsel than other people do. And then Green Zimpling at the bottom. Perils of Production, we don't really care. Maybe we should just keep it in the deck so we have another Perils of Production in the deck? Sure. The Collector is going to survive. Unless we play a Molting Imp in the center? Ho-ho. Let's play a Molting Imp in the center. I want to kill the Collector. Alright. Now, we've got packed morsels. We can't fit all the morsels, but there's no reason not to play packed morsels and fit a couple of them. So we could put the morsel jeweler up here so that you don't get the 11 damage. And then I think we keep the magma morsel in the deck. And then we just play 2 rituals of battle. Yeah, 2 rituals of battle. The Collector at the top. We get to kill that one because of your multi-strike. Excellent. And you've got a damage shield, not to mention 2 lifesteal, but that's not important. We definitely play 2 Shade Splitters. I'm trying to think of what the other thing that we play is. I don't know. More lifesteal. I mean, you don't really benefit too much from lifesteal, so we're going to give you a rubble morsel just to keep your fuel going. And we're going to give our champion more lifesteal. So our champion keeps going. And then, you know, we could put a train steward at the bottom so it dies. Yeah, let's just play these 2 at the bottom so they die. Oh, right. We didn't have enough Ember for both of those. Space Prism, finally. The Prism Retrieval gets Queen's Impling, Magma Morsel, or Train Steward. not very worthwhile. You have plenty of fuel right now, so we don't need to give you more fuel. Which means we might want to just give our champion the morsels, because the champion gets more benefit out of the morsels. Sure. And I think we want a Space Prism here, and a Space Prism at the top. Okay. We give you an Umbra morsel. It would be nice for you. And if we play 1 Queen's Impling, this one dies. Does that do anything for us? It really doesn't. So I guess we play 2 Queen's Implings at the bottom. Get them out of the deck. Then we play a Prism Retrieval. Get it out of the deck. We got a morsel. We can play that in the center. It will even kill this one. How about that? Alright. We've got a ton of different things we could do here. I think we might want to play the Furnace Tap. Ooh, we've got a Perils of Production that costs 0 in our deck. Oh, so we could play Perils of Production and Furnace Tap this turn, and we'd probably be fine. Alright, let's do it. Perils of Production. We're doing this all on our top guy, right? Yeah. Perils of Production, Furnace Tap, a Shade Splitter to give you another morsel, and a Ritual of Battle. And then there's kind of no reason not to play a Queen's Impling, especially because it will take some of the damage from our top guy. Our top guy doesn't get enough health. Definitely want him to have more health in general, because he dies too quickly. Okay, so Perils of Production on you. And then we can play Perils of Production on you again. We've got ridiculous amounts of Ember Drain. 2 Shade Splitters. You get a Lifesteal. I like you getting a Lifesteal, because that basically causes you to survive a lot longer. And it also means that we don't need to give you more health, particularly. Alright, so you get a lifesteal. That also gives you more fuel. Our champion is going to get a magma morsel. And then we're going to play a train steward at the bottom and let it die. Oh. Actually, that was not great because we get a slay. We get a self-mutilation card, which we won't get to play because we have Ember Drain. So, that was actually really dumb. Oh, we get Perils of Production. How convenient. How convenient. So we actually get to play the self-mutilation. Alright. So, if you had more lifesteal, you would survive longer. So it'd be nice if we could give you more. We don't. Alright. What are we going to spend our stuff on? Are we going to spend it on our Umbra or our top guy? The top guy has plenty of fuel. That's really the only thing we really need for him is fuel. So let's give the Penumbra the morsels this time, and the Ritual of Battle, and see how much more you do. 432. We don't win this turn, but we got a lot closer. And we can't play that self-mutilation. But yeah, we're gonna take the self-mutilation damage. How sad. Shroud Spike. I really like Shroud Spike. Let's take it. I think it works really well in our deck too. The Void Binding would work well as well. It does, but I think I like the Shroud Spike more to begin with. Pyre Chomper? I mean, the problem with Pyre Chomper is that if we don't have any Ember, then even though it gives us Ember, we can't play it to begin with. But if we have one Ember, then we could play the Pyre Chomper. I don't know. I don't know how much I want Pyre Chomper. Let's skip. We get something. Oh, this is our upgrade. What does the upgrade look like? Restore 2 health to your Pyre if we don't play it. Hold on to it. I want to see what the next one looks like. Maybe we can just have him keep it and just purge it from the deck? I don't know. So I definitely want to go both of these paths. I want to visit a Merchant of Steel to upgrade my main guy more. I want to visit a Merchant of Magic because there's so many things we can do. I think we go the Merchant of Steel because it also has the Unstable Vortex. So, Merchant of Steel has another large stone? Alright. Sure. Another large stone on Alloyed Construct. We will do that. Alright. We might get a Heartstone and put it on it too. I'm not sure. Let's look at this Divine Horde next. Summon abilities trigger an extra time. Summon abilities trigger an extra time. That affects my imps, which is not very special, but it does do something. Mind Jacks is kind of nice. It means the middle floor is something that we could do more reliably. That's really good for the Last Divinity battle. Wing Clippings is also not bad. We do have a fair number of consume cards, actually. I like all of these. I think I like the Mind Jacks and Wing Clippings the most. The Mind Jacks is particularly good because the Last Divinity battle, we probably want to put Alloyed Construct in the middle so that it actually gains fuel ever. I don't know. It doesn't help enough doing that. So I'm going to take wing clippings, because wing clippings does a fair amount. And then unstable vortex, let's remove the last train steward. And I think we remove prism retrieval, because it just doesn't do much for me. I guess it's better to keep that than removing a Queen's Impling. I think so. Alright, we'll keep the prism retrieval a little bit, but I'm definitely thinking about removing it. So we could add a Heartstone to my alloyed construct, just so that it has more health, so that it survives a little bit longer. Maybe. It does a lot of damage already. We could also re-roll, and hope to get another really good one on the right side. Such as like a Speedstone. Speedstone would be really good. Okay, we're gonna re-roll, just for hopes. Oh, we got it. We got the Speedstone. How about that? Alright, we're gonna put the Speedstone on Alloyed Construct. Now it's really good at killing things before it gets damaged. We just need to give it some fuel first, which means that we need it to gorge on at least one morsel at the very beginning. Yeah. Okay, anyway. There's really no reason to take any of these. Not really. We could make the Molting Imp a little bit better by giving it these things, but I don't think we care. Let's leave. And go to the next one. Okay, I don't like the Self-Made Harpy. Self-Made Harpy is kind of scary. But until then, these guys, the sycophants, all die from jack strips. So I'm going to turn this on. The bigger sycophants don't, though. Like the one that ended up in front right there. The Penumbra isn't great right now. Actually, the Alloyed Construct could go in the center this time, because we got a Space Prism, turn 1. Okay, you know what? I like that. We have to give it a Shade Splitter this turn, which means we would get Ember Drain on my Penumbra if I put the Penumbra at the top. But a quick guy in the center is really, really nice. So, use a Space Prism, Shade Splitter, play the Rebel Morsel first, of course, and then do that, and the Penumbra goes at the top. We could play the Prism Retrieval just to get a unit out of the deck. You know, let's do it. Huzzah, Molting Imp out of the deck for right now. Now, we did get a Shade Splitter, that's important. And we got another Space Prism, which also seems quite nice. So, what we can do a Space Prism here. We can do the Shade Splitter. Gave me Umbra Morsel. Not the one that I wanted to do the Shroud Spike on. But I still want to do Shroud Spike so that we get lots of fuel. Because once we get lots of fuel, we kind of don't need to worry about giving you fuel anymore. So let's do this. Shroud Spike, give you lots of fuel. Alright, now you've got lots of fuel, now we just want to give you more attack, so that you kill things before they hit you. We could do Furnace Tap this turn. We could. How interesting is that? That's pretty interesting. You know what? Let's do it. So we're going to do Furnace Tap on you. That gives us Ember Drain 4. Oh, and it got preserved. Oh, alright. Packed Morsels as well. also got preserved. We're going to give you a morsel miner now that you're ridiculous. And, you know, you don't really need the morsel excavator, and I could have more lifesteal on my champion. I like that. So we're going to do the morsel excavator up here, and we'll give you an Umbra morsel. Alright. Excellent. I think even though we have Ember Drain for the rest of this battle, that we still win. So, Perils of Production. Let's do it. Perils of Production. The Perils of Production. And then we definitely play a Shade Splitter. I don't know how much more you need, particularly, but we can give you more morsels. Because you've got 12 attacks. So yeah, let's give the morsels to my champion. And then Ritual of Battle to you, of course. We've got a quick guy with 132 attack and multi-strike 4. The fact that we can't play cards is no big deal. We actually do get to play some cards here, though. We have the Space Prism. I'm going to put the Space Prism at the top. The Prism Retrieval got preserved. I guess we'll play it. What does it do when you play it right now? Actually, let's play the packed morsels first. It got preserved. Okay, so if we play Prism Retrieval, what happens? It got it from the discard pile, but it didn't shuffle the discard pile. Okay. Interesting. Didn't exactly know what would happen. Let's give you an Umbra morsel. And then Shroud Spike is bad for us this time. Morsel Excavator, 2 of those for you. Because with as much lifesteal as you're going to have, you could win if our guy doesn't win immediately. I think our guy's going to win immediately, though, in the center. He does. Alright. End turn, win. Alright. Got lots of money. I like that. Feast. Feast is interesting. Feast is interesting because we could give fuel on the turn. It's kind of like another Shroud Spike, a different Shroud Spike. I'm gonna do that. It also costs 0, which means it's a thing we can play, even when we have no Ember. I don't think I want these. The only thing I kind of want is Tiresome Climb so I could do it to a boss, but it's not the best for a boss. The Alloy of the Ancients is nice. We could take Alloy of the Ancients. I don't know. I think I kind of don't want these. Let's just skip. Alright, is this another chance to get our spell back? What does it look like? Okay. Reserve, restore 5 health to your Pyre. I guess we have nothing to do but take it, so we'll take it. Heaven's finest. Sure. Don't know if that helped me that much. We could duplicate. I mean, we could duplicate our alloyed construct. And have 2 of them. I kind of want to duplicate Perils of Production, though. The Merchant of Magic is pretty strong right now because we've got so many upgrades we could do. So many upgrades we could do. If we got a Keepstone to put on that Perils of Production, it'd be a little bit better than duplicating it. Yeah, let's go to the right. I think I want Merchants of Magic, and we're really not finding those very often, so I think I should go to this one. Another twin stone. Oh my. Alright. And a purge stone. We found a stack stone. I mean, we could get even more Ember Drain. We could... Oh man, we should put a stack stone on Furnace Tap. We really should. There's kind of no reason not to, right? Okay, we're probably going to do that. I'm going to go to the Concealed Caverns first, though. Okay, Cave of 1,000 Eyes. I am very happy to lose some health here to get artifacts. I make another offering. When you play your first morsel unit each turn, draw one. Yes, I will happily take that. That's really nice. Okay. So, Merchant of Magic. We're going to put a stack stone on Furnace Tap. That's happening. I think we're putting an Ember Stone... Let's see here. The Surge Stone doesn't go on anything. We're going to put an Ember Stone on the Ritual of Battle, probably. It could... Oh, it should actually go on one of these Shade Splitters. So that we have a zero-cost thing that we can play. Yeah, okay. So, I won't put it on that one, because that one is better if you don't play it. So we'll play it on one of these Shade Splitters. We need a zero-cost one for when we have lots of Ember Drain. We can still play a Morsel, which benefits from Mask of Penumbra too. Let's reroll. Eternal Stone. I mean... Don't know how much I want that. We could put it on a Space Prism so that we could just continue to do space. We could put it on Shroud Spike. Maybe we put it on Shroud Spike and we put an Ember Stone on Shroud Spike, but I kind of want to put another Ember Stone on another Shade Splitter. I do like Shroud Spike not having Consume. So I guess we will do it on Shroud Spike. Which makes me want to put an Ember Stone on Shroud Spike, but I think I'm going to put the Ember Stone on a Shade Splitter. Unfortunately, we did not get a Keepstone, which is what I really wanted to see there. Did we already do the Divine Temple? There's a Twin Stone and a Purge Stone. I don't think I want either of those particularly. Let's not do that. So where are we going to get pack shards from? We're going to get pack shards from that Divine Horde, and I guess we might get it from those Divine Boons, just because that's how we get pack shards. I guess we could get it from duplicating something as well. Which means we never get to go to another Merchant of Magic. Let's decide next ring how we're getting more pack shards, because we need to get to 100, and I don't think I want these. Because the Purge Stone... I mean, guess I could put the Purge Stone on Prism Retrieval. Okay, you know what? Let's make sure that we get to 100 pack shards by removing a card that I don't really want anyway. Okay. Fell the Wings of Light. Alabaster Guardians have multi-strike, Bell empowers units with Rage. So, Alloyed Construct goes at the top, of course, because that's where it can fit with a Morsel. Shade Splitter, Magma Morsel, Alloyed Construct. Ooh, we got another Shade Splitter. That's nice. My champion is going to have a hard time surviving if I play him this turn, but if you don't play him this turn, what are you doing? So let's at least look at the Shade Splitter. It's a magma morsel. Not what we particularly wanted, but at least you will gain your Gorge effect and get more health. But the problem is that back one deals so much damage that we might lose our champion. Do they have Spell Shield at the bottom? They do, so they'll die from the jack strips. Now, the way for my champion to survive is for us to play a Shroud Spike where the champion is. And we could do that. I don't want to play Perils of Production on something that's remaining yet. So, actually, you deal 20 damage? Holy cow. Alright, you know, I don't think my champion is surviving, even if we do Shroud Spike on it. Unless we ended up with just the right morsel. Oh, we did. We ended up with a Morsel Jeweler, which is exactly the one that we needed for Shroud Spike to actually work. Okay, you know, I like it. So, Morsel Jeweler goes here. We drew a Space Prism, which is also nice. Don't know if I want that at the top or the middle. I probably want it in the middle. And then I do want to play this other Shade Splitter. Rather than let it heal us 5. Let's play it. Because I really need you to get some fuel. And you only do that if we keep feeding you morsels. Okay. Now, we will Heralds of Production. You a couple of times, and then do a Shroud Spike to give my champion lots of damage shield. And a lot of attack and health too, because he gets benefits from eating morsels. Alright, so my champion is now fine. Now we work on the top guy. Well, there's not much I want to do this time. I guess we get packed morsels. So, we get some morsels to play. I do want my champion to have more lifesteal. And I want you to have more attack. So you're going to get more attack. My champion will get more lifesteal. For the Space Prism, I'm going to put that at the top this time. And then, do we want a Shade Splitter, or do we want to play 2 Rituals of Battle? We have room for another Shade Splitter. It would mean that we could give you more fuel. Let's do that. It also means we could play Prism Retrieval and get rid of it. Huh. Maybe we give you lifesteal? That's so pointless though, because you'll lose it so fast. It's just that if we give you lots of damage shield, then you don't need the lifesteal. Maybe we give you damage shield. And we give you lifesteal and damage shield. And now we play a Ritual of Battle on you. And a Prism Retrieval to get a big Queen's Impling, which we will play and just let it die. So we don't really care about our Queen's Implings. So, we've got a Shroud Spike, but we don't have a morsel. We also have Feast, and we don't have a morsel. Alright, well, let's do another Space Prism here. Let's play our Molting Imp so that we don't have it anymore. And then we're done. So, we are going to get Perils of Production either next turn or the turn after. So this is a turn that we could do a Furnace Tap. And I think we do. So, Furnace Tap, you. That means that you have more multi-strike, but you also have Ember Drain 8. We could have done that to our champion. I acknowledge that the champion has more attack right now, but I didn't want to, you know? So you will get more damage shield and some more attack, because attack does so much for you. And then our champion gets these 2 morsels. And then we heal 5 because we have that in our hand still. How about that? Heaven's finest, they say. Now then, I see a Perils of Production that we play on you a couple of times. And then I see Shade Splitters that we play, which also draws us a card. I guess I want you to have more health. The Rebel Morsel is going to go here. Let's do that one first. Okay, well, I don't know who I want to have more health then. Let's give it to you. And you'll get... this one will get another Rebel Morsel too. And then we play the Queen's Impling so that they're not in the deck anymore. We can't play one at the top because it wouldn't die, so we'll just play them at the bottom. And they can die at the bottom. So the nice thing about our deck is that we get it down to 12 cards pretty easily, and then we have a much more consistent deck. The bad thing about our deck is we're going up against Seraph the Diligent, which is not a good one to have a really small deck against. So, there's that. Okay, so we can play all of our cards. Let's play all of our cards. You get the most out of this morsel. You get the most out of this morsel, I guess. And you could feast right now, why not? Ritual of Battle, of course that goes on our ×5 attack guy. That also has quick. Alright, we have a Shroud Spike that we cannot play. We have a Shade Splitter that we will play. Give a Rebel Morsel to you. Oh, we have another Shade Splitter we can play. Give another Rebel Morsel to you. And we heal another 5. How about that? I think our champion might win. I'm not sure. Champion is not winning. Okay. But we haven't played our morsels. So, we play a Magma Morsel here. We draw a card. And we could do Shroud Spike on this morsel. Okay, you know what? And then that restores 5 health again, too. Alright, we're still not winning, but we win next turn, so we're all good. And we're at full health, because we have our card that we didn't play a couple times. Perils of Production? Actually, we don't need to do this. We win quickly. Blazing Bolts. Blazing Bolts tends to be really nice. Shroud Mitosis is also nice. So I'm very tempted to take Blazing Bolts because we don't have a single card that deals damage directly. So we rely completely on our units, which is dangerous. I think we do take it. I think Shroud Mitosis fits the deck more, but Blazing Bolts is a really nice card once you upgrade it. And of course we take Rose's Compound. Alright, what are we stopping here for again? What are we getting? We could get a Divine Artifact. Or 25 gold. So, Divine Trader's Quill is pretty interesting. Let's take a Divine Trader's Quill. We'll have that for a battle. That should ensure that this next battle goes pretty easily. Now, the big question is, are we duplicating down here, or are we going to a Merchant of Magic down here? I think we're going to go to a Merchant of Magic, because I've got too many things that I want to upgrade, and we don't have many places to upgrade them. Does that change what I do here? Merchant of Steel is kind of pointless. So on the right, there's just remove 2. On the left, there's a Concealed Caverns and a Merchant of Trinkets. I guess we're gonna go left and peek in the Merchant of Trinkets. Oh, winged technology, exactly what I wanted to see. That means the Last Divinity will be much easier. Let's take that. Alright. Very glad to see that. Now then, now that we did that, which is extremely helpful, let's consider Concealed Caverns. Hello again. You know, I would much rather upgrade a unit. Let's upgrade a unit. So, Sunderstone, strike applies melee weakness 1. Wow, that's amazing. Oh my gosh, the Sunderstone is amazing on our multi-strike unit. A unit that typically gets multi-strike 4. Yep, we're gonna put that right there. Holy cow. Okay, and our champion, I still don't particularly want Monstrous. I'd much rather have the Glutton 3. Alright, go to the next one. I think we have greatly improved our chances in that one. Non-boss enemy units enter with Spikes 5. Spikes 5 is annoying, but I really want the gold, and I think we're fine. Turn it on. I think our champion might die because we did this. But I think we're fine, even if our champion dies. So, Shade Splitter, we definitely play that one. Oh, if we play the Molting Imp at the bottom, you die because of Jack Strips. Oh, but we can't afford to do that. If only we had a little bit more Ember. We might get more Ember. We'll find out. A Rubble Morsel. Rubble Morsel, Magma Morsel. Okay. We have to play a morsel at the top to begin this battle. The morsel at the top is going to be a Magma Morsel. Oh, we drew Perils of Production. Huzzah. Alright. So now we could get more Ember this turn, which means we can do more things this turn. Alloyed Construct goes at the top. Umbra goes in the center. Rubble Morsel goes in the center. We do Perils of Production just on a morsel, because we can't really afford the Ember Drain right just yet. We keep that Perils of Production in the deck. We should. So next thing is Molting Imp at the bottom. And Queen's Impling at the bottom, because we don't want that. And then Ritual of Battle? Surely that goes on my giant dude. Yes. Alright, we have a Shroud Spike this turn, and a couple of Space Prisms. We're definitely going to do a Space Prism in the center. I forgot about the 60 damage that we deal when we play Space Prism. Let's do a Packed Morsels, play it in the center as well. Actually, we could play that at the bottom to kill this one. I like that. Let's do that. A Morsel Miner. So that's definitely the one that we're going to do Shroud Spike on. I think we do a Space Prism at the top. Even though that just hits the Collector, it saves a fuel. Oh, and it got preserved, which is nice. So we're going to play another Shade Splitter. We're going to play our Morsel Miner here. And we're going to Shroud Spike it. Beat that 6 times. Wonderful. Now our middle guy is very good. And then you really just want more attack. So we're going to give you these 2 Magma Morsels, and the Rubble Morsel goes at the bottom. The Rubble Morsel could actually go in front because it has a damage shield. So you will hit the Rubble Morsel instead of my guy. Of course, it doesn't matter because you've got lifesteal. Okay, don't worry about it. So, we've got Furnace Tap that we could play. I don't think I want to play Furnace Tap just yet. Let's save that for a future time. So instead we're going to play, I guess, Ritual of Battle and a Shade Splitter. Yeah, Ritual of Battle and a Shade Splitter. Ritual of Battle definitely goes here. Shade Splitter goes here. We're going to draw the Blazing Bolts. I should have considered that. Actually, I should have considered that. Well, let's play the Magma Morsel at the top because I really want you to have more fuel and more attack. And the fact that it has damage shield means that it survives when attacking that one. Great. Of course we could just play Feast, which we will. Okay. We lost the Collector. Sad. We drew Perils of Production, which means we can have a lot of... We can have... What am I trying to say? A lot of Ember this turn. I don't think we want Ember Drain just yet. So, where are we going to play the Space Prism? I think we don't need it at the top. Let's play it in the center. Next, we want to play a Shade Splitter, of course. The Umbra Morsel. We don't really need you to have much more. So let's play the Umbra Morsel here. And we're going to play it in back because we're going to play Perils of Production on it. So it's going to use... actually... This might be the time that we play Perils of Production on you. Because we could play Furnace Tap on you too this turn. Let's do it. Okay, from this time forward, we have Ember Drain forever. Ember Drain forever from this time forward. Our champion ran out of lifesteal. Oh, never mind. He's got one more lifesteal. So we did get our Perils of Production. Unfortunately, not the turn that we drew Blazing Bolts. So we don't get to play Blazing Bolts at all this battle. That's not great. I guess we have more chances, but not many more chances. Perils of Production. Perils of Production. We could also still draw it. because when we play a morsel, we will draw a card. Where do I want my Space Prism now? I guess we'll play it at the top now. No, let's still play it here. And Packed Morsels we also play here, so that that one dies this turn. And then here's a Shade Splitter. A Shade Splitter. Actually, we should play one of these morsels first. Rubble Morsel. We drew a Deadweight. Okay, that didn't really tell me much of anything. I want you to have the damage shield. Guess we'll play this Shade Splitter first. I want you to have more lifesteal. So you're going to have lifesteal. You're going to have a damage shield. The damage shield is not very good because of the spikes. Right. And you're going to have a Morsel Minor. Ritual of Battle, of course, goes on you. And then I'm thinking that we play Magma Morsel here and then Beast here. Alright, it would be nice if that back one died, and the best way for that to happen is if we could play Blazing Bolts, which we can. So, I guess we play Shade Splitter, and we play this Umbra Morsel. How much fuel do you have? You've got fuel, but I would like you to have more fuel, probably. Also want you to have more health. No, the extra health is not going to do anything for you. So, just give you more fuel. Ooh, we get another Shade Splitter. How nice. Magma Morsel. Definitely going to give you more attack. Okay. I don't know how we're doing, actually, this time. I really wish I had been able to play my one spell. Alright. My, what is it called? Blazing Bolts. We still have kind of a chance to play Blazing Bolts, but it's only kind of a chance. Okay, how are things going here? You're getting 496, which means you kill him in one hit, quickly. How about that? So, we're already winning. We want to play a morsel so that we draw. We'll play Packed Morsels again, get more morsels. You can get lifesteal. Oh. Giving you lifesteal means that you do more damage. Giving you even more lifesteal means that you do even more damage. And then we'll even give you a Rubble Morsel. And if we feast right now... Okay. I'm going to do this here. Partially I'm doing that because I don't actually want to win this turn. I want to have one more chance to play Blazing Bolts. Which means we have to draw Perils of Production and Blazing Bolts. So, we drew Perils of Production. That's the first step. And then we do get a chance to play Blazing Bolts because we play a Shade Splitter. And when we play this Rubble Morsel, we draw a card, which will be... not Blazing Bolts. How unfortunate. Alright, well, we win. I do not think that I want these. I mean, I kind of want the engine upgrade, but I also kind of don't. The extra Ember per turn for the rest of the battle doesn't matter once we go into Ember Drain mode. So, yeah, don't think we want these. Skip. I don't think we want these either, so skip those too. Okay, well, we've got money at least. And I said I wanted to go right because we really want a Merchant of Magic. So, we're going right. We are taking the Forgotten Boons. We are peeking at the Merchant of Trinkets. Shadow Box is fine. Improved Firebox is probably actually decent. Merchant of Magic. Freeze Stone. It's useful. It's useful, but it's not the one that I want. Demon units get multi-strike 1. We don't have a demon unit. Right. So that does nothing. Erg's Goad does nothing. Lost Luggage. We could get Lost Luggage, and we could get the improved Firebox, which would mean the beginning of the battle is really strong for us. I like that. Let's take Lost Luggage. So now I want to buy the improved Firebox. I don't think I care about these two very much. The Shadow Box is not bad. I don't think I care about it too much. So we're probably going to re-roll there. Yeah, let's re-roll here first. Hell's Banners. Hell's Banners is really good with morsels. We're going to take Hell's Banners. That means we don't have much money to spend at the Merchant of Magic, because we got a couple of good things from trinkets. So the question is, do I take Freeze Stone, or do I re-roll without taking Freeze Stone? Because if I re-roll, then I have a better chance at Keep Stone. But Freeze Stone is good for Furnace Tap. So it's not like the Freeze Stone is bad. I think I'm going to take the Freeze Stone. So Freeze Stone on Furnace Tap. And then Power Stone on Blazing Bolts. Emberstone. I probably want to put it on another Shade Splitter. Putting it on the Shroud Spike is not bad either. But the Shade Splitters now give me Ember because of Hell's Banners. Okay. Well, I think we've got a pretty good deck. Definitely Seraph is going to be hard, because Seraph is going to basically remove my deck as the battle progresses. So Seraph the Diligent is going to be hard, because of the Draining Emblem. But I think we're good. We also have wing clippings to potentially avoid the problem. Although the purifiers are going to be extremely annoying all the time, aren't they? They will. Okay. Space Prism. Space Prism we want in the center. And if we place Space Prism in the center, we could play the Alloyed Construct in the center. And the Space Prism consumes anyway. So let's play it. It got preserved. How about that? So, we're going to play the Alloyed Construct in the center now. We're going to play a ridiculously big Shroud Spike. I don't know on what, though. But we're going to play it. Oh, we gave you Fragile. Oh no. We didn't play a morsel first. We gave basically our only unit that does anything fragile. Oh, I feel dumb. Well, there are ways around this. Mostly they involve morsels that give me damage shield. But that was really dumb. We got 3 rubble morsels. Okay, well, you know, we're gonna play one of those rubble morsels up here. We're going to play another rubble morsel up here. We're going to play a rubble morsel in the center, of course, so that you get some fuel. We are not going to play Furnace Tap. We're not going to play the Molting Imp. Should we play the Molting Imp so that it kills that Light Wings, actually? I think we should. And then the question is, do we want to Shroud Spike for you? Or Shroud Spike for the Penumbra? The fact that you are fragile means I probably want to do it for the Penumbra. And I'm actually thinking about doing Furnace Tap anyway, because even though we start out with Ember Drain, which is not what I wanted, especially because that would mean we'd probably consume the Perils of Production, which is bad. Yeah, probably don't want that. But it's just that you don't deal enough damage to kill both of these, and you're fragile. Let's not do the Furnace Tap just yet. So I'm going to do a Rubble Morsel up here. I'm going to do the Penumbra at the top. We're going to do Shroud Spike on our Penumbra, but there's no reason not to do Feast here, so we get one more Ember first. So Shroud Spike for my Penumbra, so that it gets big and strong. Wow. Alright. And I have 18 Ember that we're not spending. Oh man, making my big unit fragile is so bad. Let's start with Packed Morsels. Okay, Damage Shield. Damage Shield does something. The Blazing Bolts we really want to play. Oh, the problem here is that how are we going to survive? Alright, we do actually have a lot of Ember this turn, because the Shade Splitters give us Ember. What did we consume? We actually didn't even consume our Packed Morsels. How about that? So you kill this one quickly? You don't. You don't kill this one quickly. You would kill this one quickly if we played Blazing Bolts on it, though. Right? Blazing Bolts would deal 40 damage, so it would have 140, which means you would kill him quickly. The Purifier would still survive, but that means that we could play a morsel like the Morsel Jeweler here to give you damage shield. It's not a great plan yet. I do want you to have more lifesteal, so let's do that up here. We can even put this guy... It doesn't matter if we put this guy in front, does it? It does not matter at all. So we'll do that. We drew a Space Prism. Huzzah. We play that here. Now we can play 2 morsels, which means we can give you more fuel and more attack. More attack will help for next turn. We definitely want to play the Morsel Jeweler here and the Blazing Bolts here. Okay. Oh right, you do kill him quickly. We didn't need to play the Blazing Bolts there, because you applied melee weakness. Alright, let's give you more attack. And then the Self-Mutilation we play. Do we play Furnace Tap? I don't want to, because then we will be forced to consume Perils of Production, which is definitely not what we want to consume. So So I think we just play another Magma Morsel up here. We can play this Shade Splitter, but it doesn't really do anything anymore. So we just play the 2 Queen's Implings so they get out of the deck. And then Shade Splitter, who knows? It could give me something good. Alright. I have to somehow have that guy survive again next turn, which is real scary. The Wilt Wings might kill him. So at this point, I'm not really sure what we do. Yeah, I'm not really sure what we do now. We could do the Furnace Tap first. Because if we give you Multi-Strike 2, then we can play this Perils of Production, and we don't consume it this turn. And then we would also kill that Purifier and retain your damage shield. And then we have to draw something that gives us a morsel. Or actually we have to draw something that costs 0 that gives us a morsel next turn for you to survive. Except that you still have your damage shield, so you might survive. Okay, here we go. Here's where things get really dicey. We play Furnace Tap on you. It got preserved. That's actually really nice. Perils of Production on you. Perils of Production on you. Now we can play Ritual of Battle and 2 of these Blights. This Scourge and this Blight. Okay, so now you're killing things quickly. The problem is that you're still fragile. And I have Ember Drain forever now. Okay, you're dying this turn. That would be bad, but we did draw Perils of Production, which we're going to have to play. It has Consume on it now, which is real bad, but we'll play it. It did not get preserved. It got consumed. How sad. So, once you actually die, things are done. But we can play a Queen's Impling in front of you. And a Queen's Impling in front of you. And now play Ritual of Battle on you. And all 3 of these. And then there's that Wilt Wings, which is the next problem. I mean, we've got a number of problems. Mainly because my unit is fragile. My big unit that deals tons of damage is fragile. At least my guy at the top still has a lot of lifesteal. That's a good thing, at least. So the Space Prism we want to play at the top. And then we can play a Shade Splitter, which no longer consumes, which is good. Lifesteal. I like giving you more lifesteal. More than I think giving you lifesteal does anything. So we're going to give the lifesteal to you. We drew a Deadweight. How unfortunate. Well, we don't get to play the Blazing Bolts. We can play the Feast. And then do nothing. Alright. So our guy is still alive, by the way. He survived several Wilt Wings, and he still has his damage shield. which is very surprising. So the Packed Morsels consumes anyway, so we play that first. Now, we've got Ember this turn because we get to play our Shade Splitters. Our Morsels and Shade Splitters with Hell's Banners, so that's good. Did we consume the card we just played? We did not. We've got Packed Morsels still. Great. Let's play the Shade Splitters. And we're going to give you a couple of morsels. You are going to eat those morsels. So the Morsel Jeweler definitely goes here. We can also play a Shade Splitter. The Rubble Morsel doesn't really do much of anything, so we're going to just put that for you. And then we want you to have more attack, because that's basically all you do, is attack. Actually, maybe we should play this Shade Splitter first. Are we going to play the Self-Mutilation? Or are we going to let it hit us? Because if we let it hit us, we could play Furnace Tap. And give even more multi-strike to you. Which is kind of interesting, actually. It's kind of interesting. Let's do it. More multi-strike. It got preserved again. How about that? As long as we can play it again sometime, it might be a good thing. Now, we want you to have more attack. We want you up here to have more health. Alright, you know what? Our guy being fragile the entire battle, he might survive. He might actually survive. We have a Shade Splitter that we could consume first. Okay, I guess we can do that. We can consume a Shade Splitter. Consume a Shade Splitter. It was preserved anyway. Play another Shade Splitter. If we put a morsel in front, then you don't lose a damage shield. We're going to play the Morsel Excavator up here, though. Play that one first. We drew a Ritual of Battle. Nice. So the Rubble Morsel is going to go here. Give us some Ember. I'm kind of thinking with this Ember that we actually just play Ritual Battle. We could do the Shroud Spike to give you more lifesteal. Kind of like that. And then let the Self-Mutilation hit me again. Let's do that. I think having our champion have tons and tons of lifesteal might actually be the thing that wins the battle in the end. So we're going to let those Self-Mutilations hit me a little bit more than we like. The main problem with them is not that they're hitting me, the main problem is that they are clogging up my deck. So we could consume Feast, but there's no point, because we couldn't play anything anyway. So I guess we just click End Turn. Click End Turn. Alright, how do we do against Seraph the Diligent with our guy? We're only doing 987 damage. Alright. But we can play Packed Morsels, which consumes. And do we have space in our hand? We do. Just barely. It was preserved again. How about that? So, you've got 3 Spell Shield. I see a Morsel Excavator that we can put up here. We've got a Feast. Okay, we've got a Morsel Jeweler we can do here. So that you have more... How much damage shield do you have? You've got 2 damage shield. which means you actually die after the first hit. Because... how about that? You die after the first hit right now. But if we give you a Morsel Jeweler and Shroud Spike or Feast, then you get another hit in, which is really nice, actually. Okay, so we're going to play Morsel Jeweler here. We're going to end up playing Feast in the center. So if we're playing Feast in the center, I guess we do a Magma Morsel as well. And then we play Feast. There we go. Now we're doing a lot of damage. If we play Furnace Tap, do we win this turn? I mean, I could just save Furnace Tap for next turn, though. And, like, play Self-Mutilation, for example. We could also play a Rubble Morsel at the top and Shroud Spike it. And that would give me more Ember this turn. Let's do that. Shroud Spike the Rubble Morsel, give me more Ember this turn. That allows me to play all 4 of these. Okay. And then I'm very confident that we win at the top. I'm kind of surprised that our guy that was fragile survived the entire battle until the very end. So, play some Shade Splitters, play a Magma Morsel. Oh no, we drew a Self-Mutilation, how sad. I'm going to play the Blazing Bolts so that we can get the upgraded version of Blazing Bolts. Alright, great. Blazing Bolts is now fully upgraded. Just in time for the Last Divinity battle. Took 11 damage. How sad. Alright, the Last Divinity battle. Let's not make one of our main guys fragile this time. That's my main strategy. Don't make one of your main guys fragile. So we do have a Space Prism. I really like seeing the Space Prism, because I do like putting the Alloyed Construct in the center. And then we could put Penumbra at the top. So Penumbra, well, Penumbra doesn't keep its lifesteal because it attacks every turn. Right. Do we therefore put the Alloyed Construct at the top, Penumbra in the center? No, the Penumbra needs more time to grow. So we're going to play the Alloyed Construct in the center, but we're going to play a Morsel first this time, by the way. We're going to play a Morsel in the center first. Which Morsel? I guess what we most want for the Alloyed Construct is probably the Umbra Morsel. So let's play the Rubble Morsel at the top. That will have the Penumbra. And then we have lots of Ember that we can't really do much with. We want the Alloyed Construct in the center with a Morsel. Let's see what this Shade Splitter has in it. A Magma Morsel. That's one of the ones that we would like. So, Alloyed Construct in the center. We're going to give you a Magma Morsel. We do want you to have more health too, because the Last Divinity is attacking you every turn, and that's not good for us. You know, the Molting Imp at the bottom is pretty good, because even though it gets killed by one of these and he regains his damage shield, it did take the damage shield off of the rest of them. Playing the Queen's Implings at the bottom would be bad, though, this turn, because it would give them their damage shield back. Sad, because I want to get those out of the deck, but this turn is not the turn. We can only play one more Morsel. So I guess it's going to be Umbra Morsel. We could play another morsel, but we'd have to put it at the bottom. I don't want to do that, so we just click enter. Okay, this turn is a very important turn. What did we get? We got Blazing Bolts, which is interesting, because it's kind of a nice one. We got a Space Prism, which I probably want in the center. Probably. Let's play that. Did it get preserved? Yes, great. Alright, we've got another Space Prism. I do want another Space Prism, so it's good. Good that that was preserved. Lifesteal. So if we gave you Lifesteal, you would regain all of your health that you've lost. That's better than giving you Damage Shield. Giving you Damage Shield is a little bit more valuable. Later, though. So, Morsel Excavator here is actually nice. Shroud Spike. Oh! Alright, where do we want to play the Shroud Spike? On the Morsel Miner, of course. So we're going to play the Morsel Miner here. And we're going to Shroud Spike it. We want to play Perils of Production a couple times first. We want to play a Morsel Jeweler first. We want to play Ritual of Battle. Not really. I'd rather just have more Shroud Spike. So, let's do the Perils of Production up here, so that we hit the Last Divinity slightly with those, because we don't want the Ember Drain just yet. Now, Shroud Spike, eat this morsel 22 times. Alright. Now our unit has fuel for the rest of the battle, and it has a bunch of attack and health. But he only has a ×3 attack currently, so he doesn't kill the Wiltwings. Okay, well, you know what? We're going to give you greater than a ×3 attack, eventually. I do not like the Conduit Redirector, but there's not much that I can do about it. We have our Perils of Production in our deck. We've also got a few ways to get morsels in our deck. So I think this is a fine time to play Furnace Tap. And if it gets preserved, even better. So, Furnace Tap, let's go. Alright. Now, the Shade Splitter, we're going to play that here. And a Rubble Morsel. We could play the Rubble Morsel and feast on it. And then we also get to play a Queen's Impling to get rid of the Queen's Impling. I will happily do that thing. So, Rubble Morsel up here. Feast on it. I said Queen's Impling because I wanted to get rid of the Queen's Impling, but the other thing we could do is play another Shade Splitter, which is also nice. I think getting rid of the Queen's Impling is beneficial enough, though, for us to want to do it. And if we do it up here, then we don't get damage on our champion this turn. Oh, right. I forgot about Hell's Banners. How about that? I remembered playing 2 morsels gave me Ember, but I forgot that playing an Imp also works. So, Ritual of Battle or Shade Splitter? Probably Ritual of Battle. Also, that Shade Splitter heals me, which is cool. We did get our Perils of Production this turn, so we're going to play that on you. we got a Rubble Morsel and a Shade Splitter and a Space Prism. I think the Space Prism goes here now, because we wanted to give you most of the morsels. Magma Morsel and Rubble Morsel. Having you take a Magma Morsel is really nice. So we're going to put the Rubble Morsel here, the Magma Morsel here, and we're going to Shroud Spike the Magma Morsel. And again, not play these Queen's Implings. Just because we really like Shroud Spike. Okay, you're gaining 30 health somehow. I guess you attack 5 times, so you kill those 5, and then you're gaining 30 health because of something. Oh, because of the harvest. Right. We have Shade Splitters, which means we have Ember, because 2 of these will give us Ember. The Rubble Morsels I'm going to play at the top. We can even feast on those Rubble Morsels to get the Ember this turn. Sure. Because we would lose the Ember for next turn anyway. And then, shall we do... I'm thinking about not playing that Shade Splitter. Playing the Blazing Bolts at the bottom. Killed that back one, great. And then doing a Ritual of Battle on our main guy. And play a Queen's Impling so that we get rid of those out of the deck. Okay, you are taking 14 damage. And you are taking 14 damage basically every turn. I think we're going to win pretty fast from here on out. Especially... we did consume the Furnace Tap, so I can't get the Furnace Tap back. But especially if we can get the right set of morsels for our center guy. Rubble Morsel is not it. Rubble Morsel is not it. Okay, well, we're gonna just put the Rubble Morsels up here. Because they do more for me up here. Yeah, you know what? They do more for me up here. We're going to Shroud Spike one of the Rubble Morsels. Get lots of Ember this turn. And then play a Queen's Impling. We'll play the Queen's Impling in the center so that it takes the damage this turn. Well, it takes 7 of the damage, I guess. And then we can't win next turn because there's too many units there. But we're gonna win soon. We got Shroud Spike again. Alright. Perils of Production. Perils of Production. Let's see what is in the Shade Splitters. A Morsel Jeweler. I think we want the Morsel Jeweler at the top. So, Morsel Jeweler. Another Shade Splitter, great. Magma Morsel we want in the center. And then, you know what? I think we're gonna win with my champion next turn. Especially if I do a Shroud Spike right now, right? Because my champion gains a lot of attack with a Shroud Spike. Yeah, alright. Champion will win next turn. I could have actually played the Magma Morsel at the top and won this turn. But that doesn't really matter. We win this turn at the top. Great. And we defeated another expert challenge. And I mastered a card this time. I think I mastered a common card, but still. It's one of the cards that we haven't Divinity Mastered yet, and we did it. Let's see. The Molting Imp. Huzzah! Finally, Divinity mastered the Molting Imp. And we got a new personal record. Haven't gotten those in a little bit too. Alright, so we're getting pretty close. There's the Wormkin is the clan that has the fewest or the most non-Divinity mastered cards. So the Wormkin is one of the ones that we want to get the Divinity Masters with. And Fragile applied 60, our previous best was 57. I assume our previous best was the last time that we did this expert challenge. But there we go. Got a new personal record, glad to get those sometimes. And next time we'll continue doing expert challenges. We've won a lot recently, so I'm very happy about knocking out these expert challenges. This run was my 20th clan combination with a max Covenant win. 10 more to go. And now every clan combination with Umbra as the primary has a win on Covenant rank 25. I also completed my 17th expert challenge and Divinity mastered one new card. On the right, I am featuring Master of Light, which is the only normal enemy I have not yet killed 100 times. But I'm getting close. In contrast, Chains the Sighted is the boss that I have the most kills against. I consider this category almost done once we get 100 with Master of Light. On the left, I simply must feature Alloyed Construct, my big minion this run. He ended up having 4 upgrade stones, and all of them were rare red stones. What a powerful minion. Molting Imp was the card that I Divinity mastered this run, and it is the last clan common card to be Divinity mastered. For artifacts, I'm showing off a combination that I really like to find. Lost Luggage and Improved Firebox go very well together, making the first turn very strong, which is very good because getting set up faster can really change how a battle proceeds. Check out my tracking sheet, link in the video description, new episodes every Saturday, and thanks for watching.